everyone. Welcome to Sociology Analytica. This is Pooja Prasanna, your sociology faculty. So today I'm going to take a new thinker, that is Robert K. Merton. And Robert K. Merton, I'll be discussing two questions. Okay. So the first question, I've kept it very simple. It is a previous year question because some of you were asking, ma'am, discuss some previous year question. So one previous year question I've taken in this section. So the question is, how, according to Robert K. Merton, that is Merton, are deviant subculture generated? It's a 20-mark question. It's actually a pretty straightforward question. See, and also in Merton syllabus, there are very less number of topics. So you should actually concentrate on all the topics because high possibility that they may ask any of the topic. So they are asking about the deviant subculture, how deviant subculture is generated in the society at large. See, this is a open-ended question. That means you can actually write anything. See, they have asked about deviant subculture, how it is there. So there is no specific, sometimes they may ask a specific thing with respect to deviant subculture, but this is an open-end question, so you can actually write anything, whatever you know from this particular subtopic. Okay. So I'm going to start with, see, as it is Merton, so obviously he would have written in some of the, textbook. So please do mention the textbook name where he has talked about the particular concept. See, this has to be done for all the six thinkers, all the main six thinkers, whatever we have in the syllabus. For every six thinkers, you should not forget to mention the book title. Okay. Next, so yeah, you start with this, that Merton explains his idea of deviance in his book Social Structure and Anomy. Okay, in the backdrop of what he studies this, in the backdrop of great economic depression. Okay, so because of the time period, so based on the time period, this is actually a period of what? It is a period of anomy. So during this period of anomy, he'll try to understand how the deviant behavior actually comes into the picture. Okay, did you understand? So after this, what you have to do is you can actually write about how he has studied or how he explains deviant behavior. So Merton claims the deviant behavior is generated due to what? Lack of coordination between cultural goals and institutionalized means created by the state of anomy. So see, he will be explaining the whole of deviance, the theory of deviance, using two things. One is the cultural goals, whatever the cultural goals of the society will be. Okay, see, also this cultural goals differs from one society to the other society. And Robert K. Merton, in generally, he would be studying American society. See, that doesn't mean in your answer you cannot give example from Indian society. You can actually give example from Indian society also. That is totally fine. But then he would be studying from American society. So every society will have its own cultural goal. In American society, what is a cultural goal? The cultural goal is having a materialistic lifestyle. The cultural goal is actually having a materialistic lifestyle. Or materialism, or gaining more and more of materialistic aspects is one of the cultural goal. And institutionalized means what? Whatever it has been accepted means is the path of achieving the goal. And what is it? It is institutionalized. That means these ways of accepting or achieving the goal has been accepted by all the members of the society. It has been accepted. And also it has been used also on a day-to-day basis in the society. So this is nothing but institutionalized. Okay, so what he's telling, it is deviant behavior usually is created because there's a lack of coordination between the goal and the means. Sometimes what happens, goal and means will be there. Sometimes there will be a problem in selecting or sticking to the goal, or there will be a problem in actually going for which means to achieve the goal. So because of this, because of lack of coordination, there is a possibility of the behavior of deviance in the society. Did you understand? And what he says, this tendency, that the tendency of what? That is lack of coordination will exert the pressure of deviance. That is, the more and more lack of coordination will be there in the society, more and more deviant behavior will there in the society. Further, you can actually expand this because it's a 20 marker question. As it's a 20 marker question, you expand more and more about this, write more and more about this, because the space will be more. Okay, then what you can write, see, the way people react to this is actually creating pressure on the people because there is a lack of coordination between cultural goals and institutionalized means, and different people will be taking different approach, different path of how to tackle this situation. Okay, why there is a difference of action, why different actions will be taken by different people? Because not everyone will be in the same status, isn't it? See, somebody will be high class person, somebody will be middle class, somebody will be lower class. So different set of people will be there. Someone might be homeless also. Okay, so different people are there in the society. So based on the class position, based on the position he occupies in the class, based on that he will decide how to tackle the particular situation, or whether to focus on goal, or whether to focus on means, or whether to give away all the means. Okay, so all these things, it depends on what? It depends on the class position what individual occupies. Did you understand? And further, what he tells is that, see, time and again, anomic sort of situations will be coming in the society. Okay, time and again, anomy will be there in the society. And whenever anomy will be there, okay, see, if anomy is not there, that is in a well balanced society, equal importance will be given to both means as well as goal. Okay, equal importance will be given to both means and goals. But then here, what Merton is trying to tell, how Merton is trying to explain deviance, he is trying to explain deviance during anomic time period, especially in the backdrop of what? Economic depression. So he is telling that during anomic time period, this equal emphasis will not be given. Okay, some people may give emphasis more to goal, some people may give emphasis more to means, some people may not give to both, and some people may give to both also. So there are multiple ways how people may tackle this sort of situation. And what Merton says, he outlines 5 possible responses from the people, that is of different situations. He is outlining 5 different responses, that based on such situations, people may opt for 5 different 5 different responses to the state of anomy. Now you can explain, that is 5 different types. What are those? Conformity, innovation, ritualism, retreatism, and rebellion. Okay, these are the 5 things, 5 responses what people may take in the situation of anomy. Okay, or this is also and some of them might be even deviant behavior also. The first and foremost is conformity. Okay, this is conformity. This is okay, of the 5 responses, the first response, that is conformity, is not a deviant response. See, here the members will be conforming to both what? The success goal, whatever the goal, cultural goal will be there, they'll be conforming to the goal, as well as the normative norm or the institutional meal. So both they will be conforming. Why? In order to reach their goal. So they will not deviate at all. Whatever it is required, they will successfully do it. For example, a UPSC aspirant, okay, UPSC aspirant becoming an IAS officer. Okay, UPSC aspirant becoming an IAS officer is an example of conformity. So basically, you study well, you give prelims, means, interview. If you do it well, then your name will be in the list. And subsequently, you'll go to Labasana. There you'll take training, and there you'll do well, and finally you'll become an IAS officer. So becoming IAS officer is your goal, and then you are following all the means in order to become that goal. So you are a conformist. The next is innovation. Who are innovators, or what is innovation style? Here they reject normative means of achieving success and turn towards a deviant means to attain the goal. So from here onwards, we can see a deviant behavior. So goal is there. Okay, here goal is there. Goal they want to achieve, but then the means to achieve the goal is bit difficult. Okay, the means to achieve this particular goal is bit difficult. They know that if they take up the proper means to achieve that goal, then they may not be able to achieve the goal. So what they'll do, they'll take a different some corruptive means in order to achieve that goal. So goal they will be doing, okay, they'll fix with the goal, but then the means to achieve the goal, they will take a deviant behavior. Okay, so this is nothing but innovation. Example is politicians. Okay, politicians, so let's say that politicians taking bribe from the people in order to fund for themselves, or sometimes a bureaucrat taking doing corruptive work in order to sign a particular bill, sign something, all these are actually innovation. And if you see, most of the innovation is done from, okay, most of the people who will be going for innovation, they would be from high class, okay, society. They would be from a high class society, because they're already they're already well settled, and then they know that how can they easily bypass the means and achieve the goal. The next is ritualism. Ritualism is basically when the people make whatever the goal, they fetishize over the goal, they fetishize over the means. Okay, they fetishize over the goals, and specifically means that we have to follow the rules, we have to do only this. So they fetishize so much that actually cling on to the means. They cling on to the means so much that they'll forget that the end goal is to reach the goal. Okay, so what happens by clinging on to the means so much, by clinging on to the rules and regulations so much, sometimes they will even forget what the end goal is. So here they would have forgotten the goal, or they would have given up on the goal, but then they would be continuing or cling on to the means. So this is usually done among the low grade bureaucrats, or among the lower middle class people. The lower middle class people, if you observe, so most of them are very very rule based. They always follow the rules. They don't want to deviate with the rules. Why they do that? Because they know that, so they know that, they can't be corrupt. They know that they don't have enough money to, go or surpass the rules. So that is why they most of the time they would be clinging on to the rules, and by clinging on to the rules, they give up on the goal itself. The next is retreatism. What is retreatism? See, here they strongly internalize the goal as well as means. It's not like they've given up on the goals and means. They do know what is the goal, what they have to achieve. They also know what is the means of achieving the goal. They have internalized, they have accepted the goals and means. But then because of the anemic sort of situation, they won't be able to achieve whatever the success they want to achieve. So what they will do, they will resolve the conflict, whatever the lack of coordination which will be there, that okay, why I'm not able to achieve, why should I give up on the goal, which means to apply. So because so much of confusion and chaos, so what they'll do, the conflict will be created, and to resolve this conflict, what they'll do, they'll abandon the goals and the means. They'll finally give up that okay, it's not possible from my end, I'm going to give up on the goals and means. So what they'll do, so the moment you give up on your goals and means, what will happen, you'll not be able to cope up also. Okay, you'll not be able to cope up, and hence eventually they will be dropped out of the society. That is, they'll stay away from the society, and somewhat they'll accept that okay, we are failure, we will remain as failures. Understood? So example is someone, a drunkard. Example is a drunkard. See, someone that is alcoholic. So most of the alcoholics, what they do, it's not like they start alcoholism out of joy. No, it's not like that. They would internalize goals and means. They would keep trying again and again, but then nothing would work out for them, and then they'll take up some other, maybe drugs or alcohol, some other things. Did you understand? The next is a rebellion. Who is a rebellion? See, a rebellion is a person. So during this anemic time period, they would give up on both goals as well as means. Okay, they would give up both on goals as well as means. And instead of that, see, they are not like retreatists. They are not retreatists. They are like, they have not given up. What they are doing, they are, instead of this goals and means, they are replacing by their own different goals and means. Okay, and what they'll do, they'll try to recreate a new society. They'll try to create the new rules, new goals for the new society. So these are actually rebellions, and you see rebellions mostly among the lower section. Okay, for example, working class members are rebellions. Some of the lower section, that is low caste, Dalits, women. So all these people who have been, where they're not able to express themselves properly, and then they've rebelled in the society, and then they felt like, coming up with different norms and values or different goals altogether. Okay, so you can typically see working class being a rebellion. Okay, working class, usually what they'll do, they'll have a true consciousness and they'll go for revolution, eventually having a new rights and new goals in the society. Understand? You can write examples like this. As many examples as you can think of, you can write. And then finally, you can conclude. So how am I concluding? See, if you must be knowing that before Merton, many different people have talked about deviance. So, like even Durkheim has talked about deviance. Many biologists have talked about deviance. Psychologists have talked about deviance. But then how Merton explains deviance? He explains deviance in terms of nature of society. He explains deviance in the terms of nature of society rather than nature of individual. See, most of them tend to explain deviance from what per se? From the individual per se, like biologists, psychologists. But then Merton, how is he explaining deviance? He is explaining deviance from the societal per se. So that is why his theory can be called as a sociological theory of deviance. Something like this you can end. Okay, you can end this in just a simple one or two lines like this. Okay. So this is, of all the questions we have dealt in all these days, I personally think this is one of the most straightforward question. Okay. In case if you have any doubt, you can drop a message in the comment section. And also you may be thinking, ma'am, can we add extra points because we have studied differently in different, some different lines will be there, different examples will be there. That's fine. That is totally fine, that because different textbooks may have extra one or 2 points here and there. But then just remember one thing, the whole content should not just deviate. The content should be same. You can just add or subtract 1 or 2 extra points like this. Okay. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to give one more question on Merton. That will be little bit twisted. It will be little bit of analytical question. Okay. I'll see you all tomorrow with Merton. Thank you so much.